What up, everybody? This is Jeroslyn. This is Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored.
And I'm Jeroslyn, the managing editor at Hollywood Unlocked.
And Rosa Acosta's back. Hey. The last time you were here and you told the story about how you would pirouette on a penis, people went crazy for that.
I bet now everybody's like appreciating their 5 and 6 inches.
Yeah, that was another interesting fact that you shared. Okay, so listen, last night for me was so wild. So I went out last night and had drinks with a friend and dinner at Delilah. And, you know, Delilah is one of those places where you have to know somebody to get in. So you have to text a manager or email somebody and they have to prove you or whatever, I guess. I was in there yesterday and they had the most awkward, weirdest group of people. I thought I was at the BET Hip Hop Awards. I watched somebody, Wiz Khalifa walked by smoking a blunt. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is not the Delilah crowd that I'm used to. So after I started seeing it turning, I said, you know what? I'm out of here. This is not my thing. I'm going home. I'm too old for this. You know, now that I'm 41, I get to say I'm too old.
Everybody says it. Was Drake there?
He came later, but I left before Drake. But as I was leaving, jacket on, saying goodbye, everybody telling me, oh, you're whack for leaving early. My friend Lee says, Tiffany Haddish just walked in. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're going to say, because Tiffany Haddish is low-key like the life of every party. So she came to our table. She stood on the table, and she danced on the table. So we had a good time, and then I left there and went straight to the ER. Listen, I am being treated for pneumonia.
Oh.
But I don't have pneumonia. I don't know what having pneumonia feels like because I've never had it, but the symptoms and all that, they said, we're just going to treat you for pneumonia. So I'm barely here, but I am here because we appreciate all the people that support Hollywood Unlocked. And before we go any further, make sure you're downloading and subscribing. If this is your first time on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and YouTube. Now, you can't follow us on Instagram. And Jeroslyn, how's your week been as the managing editor?
It's been stressful.
Now that our Instagram has been down.
It's stressful because in today's day and age, with media businesses, like Instagram is like the heart, meat, and potatoes of the platform. So, and there's just so much juicy stuff going on. And I want to be able to make a story card and share it with our followers. But our page is down. We're working to get it back up. And we'll be back in no time.
You know, 1.3 million people. I miss the interaction. But here's the deal. When we built Hollywood Unlocked, you know, my vision was that it would be a multi-tiered platform. We're not just going to be an Instagram blog. So we have the show. We have a significant following on YouTube. We appreciate you. We still have Facebook, Twitter, and the Instagram will be back. One thing I have found, though, is with the Instagram being down, how bad cyberbullying really is. Because now they're all on my page. There's, you know, of course, the Nicki Minaj fans on my page reveling in the fact that they believe the kingdom brought Hollywood Unlocked to its knees. Well, first of all, Hollywood Unlocked's been on its knees since 18 years old. Let's start with that. Second of all, you got to do more than disable my Instagram. But unfortunately, we can't give Nicki Minaj or her fans credit for that. We've been dealing with Facebook on just terms of use changes over the years and staying up to date. And we've had a legal team working with them to update our policies. And so it's more of an internal thing between us and Instagram that will be resolved. So those of you that are happy thinking that Hollywood Unlocked Instagram has gone away, we will be back. And I have my return to Instagram video.
Yeah, I know. You're already ready. I mean, as stressful as it is, though, I'm not going to lie, low-key, you know we're enjoying it.
No, I won't lie.
You know the social team
Let me
is
tell
so
you something. So we have 3 people who manage all of our social media content. One of them is in the back laughing. One of them is on the radio laughing. These motherfuckers are on a vacation. They have not had this kind of downtime in I don't know how long. But you know what's crazy?
It's so good.
This is what's crazy. I wake up every day harassing them with new shit to do. With new shit to do because I know they're at home like, feet up, we are thank you God. However, that shit will end very soon. So don't enjoy this downtime. Fuck all the giggling. Shit's real out here in the streets. All right. But anyway, I've learned about cyberbullying. The one thing I will say is that thank God I'm tough enough to endure cyberbullying. I get cussed out every day. I've been told how to die 1,000 times. And people, you can only die once.
You can only die once. And
so I don't need 1,000 options. It's just overwhelming at this point. How do you deal with cyberbullying? Like, what do people say to you?
You know, nothing. I think they usually go to the people that they know are going to reply. They know I won't give them any attention. So they are like, oh, it's pointless. So they just go to the celebrities and the Insta famous people that they know for sure are gonna get pissed off.
Are gonna entertain them.
I usually don't. here and there, I for the most part, I try to like every comment. If there's one that I don't like, I usually I delete it or I block it because, I already have bills and taxes and things that I gotta worry about. So I don't need more negativity than the IRS in my life. That's like plenty.
Oh my God. So please don't say those 3 letters. That's a whole nother payment that I have to do this week.
I come from a place where you don't pay taxes.
Really?
Yeah, there's no taxes in the IRS. Like, you don't pay the IRS. You don't pay the IRS nothing. There's no IRS.
Wait a minute. The Dominican Republic has no taxes.
No, they have.
I mean, not that they tax you. The government may tax you, but you don't pay at the end of the year taxes.
You don't pay taxes.
Wow, moving.
Yes. And so when I came here and they were like, you have to give them a percentage. I'm like,
why?
Why?
Listen, as an employer, I have to pay taxes on my payroll. When they took that extra payment, I go, wait. Who did? They came in last week and took money out just because they wanted to take money. And the crazy part about our government is you can't call them and say nothing about it. No. And I have to write them a $12,000 check. I'm really not happy.
They're the real bullies.
Yes.
I'm not even looking, I'm looking forward to.
Oh, and then, now even if, so like, I think we were talking about that before we started, that I don't have health insurance, but I pay $1,000 every year for not having it.
That's
because of
but that's the encouragement for you to go get.
Well, I don't want the money that I will spend on health insurance. I spend it on organic food and on, like the only thing I do is I check my lady parts because you have to, and I go to the dentist to do a cleaning every 3 months. But I haven't had to go to the doctor since
and you're
came
still
to this country.
You're still saving money regardless because you'll spend more than $1,000 a year on.
Health insurance is like
to not even go to
almost $300 a month.
Let me tell you something.
Yes. And
people say,
healthy.
You don't have to go. Listen, if I sneeze for too hard, I'm going to get my nasal passages.
Okay, but I'm Dominican, and so bacteria dies when it comes in contact with me. I drank dirty water for 22 years and I walk barefoot half of my life. So this American bacteria can't do nothing. Are you
being serious or are you just playing?
She's serious.
I'm being serious.
Wait, how did you drink dirty water? Is it the water in your
Have you ever drink water in the Dominican Republic?
Only bottled water.
Okay, you better. Good for you.
So the water coming out of the pipes is dirty?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Compared to the one here, yeah. Everybody that goes there and drink water, like they get, they get really sick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
so, when people say here like the 50-second rule, that the things in the floor, I'll pick it up. If you've been sitting there for an hour, I'm like, give me my chip back.
Well, listen, shout out to everybody in the Dominican Republic. Get some bottled water.
Get some bottled water, y'all.
Okay, but I will say what I've learned about cyberbullying and through this Instagram being down is how many unhappy people are out there that are so happy, that are so happy. But this is the thing. When the first day it happened, I was like, oh, shit, I was mad. I had a great meeting that I was really excited about, but then I was also mad. But then the second day I was like, what the lesson in this is I'm getting a break. I'm getting a little break. I'm building up hate. I'm getting a lot of people talking online. Oh, my God, what happened to Hollywood Unlocked? Shout out to Baller Alert and Vlad TV who called to check on me. And Claire from Fashion Bound Daily. We good.
Aww.
But the thing about it is, it's something that when I was on FaceTime with Cardi the other day, and she said, don't worry, when you come back, it's going to be even stronger now because everybody's talking about it. First thing after the AMAs, congratulations to everybody at the AMAs. AMAs were amazing this year. Did you watch them?
No.
Oh, my God. Did you watch the AMAs? So you guys didn't even see Cardi's performance?
No.
On Instagram.
It was a great performance. But they heard Offset and Quavo walked in. The first thing they said, with the AMAs and everything happened, what happened to Hollywood Unlocked? I go, don't worry about it. We good. But let's get into Cardi's performance with the choreography. So it was a great show. I enjoyed it. A lot of good people. I don't think Camila Cabello should have won Best New Artist. Definitely should have went to Cardi, and that's not even being biased. It's just Camila Cabello.
I mean, they're both kind of in the same tier. She came out with hits. She had like 2 back-to-back hits.
Well, the word is she went back to the table, back to her seat, and said, "I shouldn't have won this. You should have won it." And Cardi was like, "Yes, whore."
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to everybody, winners and losers. Do you guys want to talk about what have you been doing?
Working.
What have you been doing?
I work for you. I am writing a book, so that's nice when I get a break from Hollywood Unlocked. But I work a lot, so
that book better not be about Hollywood Unlocked.
No,
I can't sue 2 people that work for me in 1 year.
Oh God, so irrelevant. People,
are you suing somebody?
Let's move around.
Yeah, let's move around, Chinny Chin, because that was just so irrelevant. But no, I'm writing a book. It's actually going to be a guidebook for women getting their best life for your sex, dating, and your career.
And hopefully the final chapter is that you got married. Okay, can I just say this week I'm so distracted. I just have a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
I don't have a structured day. First of all, in Hollywood Unlocked, we have a lot that goes on. We usually have a routine. Like the writers, go through your routine. So you wake up, what do you do?
Yeah, for me, with my title, my job is to wake up, review stuff from the day before. So I got to make sure everyone wrote the stories they were supposed to write. Then I also take a look at what's going on the East Coast. What stories are we covering? What stories need to be assigned? So I'm already just, as soon as I wake up, and I'm like doing this while I'm, like sitting.
Ain't even brush your teeth.
Yeah, I didn't even brush my teeth, just like sitting in my bed and like doing that. Then once I, take a shower and stuff, then I start to assign stories, check stories, write my own stories, get started on a newsletter. And then there's a team of writers from East Coast and West Coast. So they're all trying to figure out what they're going to write. And you have to make sure that people aren't going on top of each other. We'll have social media that needs to be managed.
Shout out to Instagram.
Yeah. So then writing stories, it's very much busier when we have to come here. Because there's just so much shit that you got to do with like trying to even just send a newsletter.
Because if you think about it, we post 50 stories on Instagram, 6 to 10 stories on Facebook, 20 something stories on the website. We have the radio show that you have to edit, the newsletter that goes out. On top of all the fires that happen, interviews, we got to do this party, that party. You got to go here, go there, meetings. I mean, it's a lot of work. And so I just say that because
are y'all hiring?
No, shit. Instagram don't come back. We're gonna be laying off. No, I'm just playing. We're good. We're coming back. But anyway, yeah. But shout out to my team who's been doing a really good job of keeping things moving. Yeah. So we have some hot topics. Yeah. Let's get into them. What is Amber Rose doing? Shout out to Amber Rose in the Slut Walk. Did you go to the Slut Walk?
No.
Why?
Well,
be honest.
Well, I like the idea of the slut walk, but I think that it's just scraping the surface. If we are going to fight for, I want to be able to decide if I want to shave my poops or not, like that's just like something so irrelevant to me. And I think that with the resources that she has, she could be doing so many other cool things. Like I imagine the money that she raises for the slut walk. Like imagine if we could pay for like one of these badass ladies' college. If we can do a contest and start, do a contest and, the winner gets funds for her dream company. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I really love her and I appreciate her for her efforts. And obviously she's doing it the way that she thinks is the best. But if I had that amount of pull and the ability to, put all those resources together, I think I will do other things. Because I don't think, and this is coming from somebody that gets called all kinds of things on Instagram. Like I've been called everything, I used to be a video vixen. And so I get, just like her, I get called a hoe or a slut or a this or that every day. But it just, when I really tell people I'm unbothered by it, I am unbothered. If I wasn't, I will be putting a lot of energy into it, but I don't, I'm really worried about evolving into a better woman and really helping other women. And the way I do that is I try to employ them. I try to give them opportunities. I try to buy from them. I try to, help their businesses. I just, I appreciate her for trying to do that in the movement, but I will do it a little differently. And I don't think me going there in a thong with some pasties in my boob, telling people I'm not a slut,
or you are a slut,
or yeah, I am. Like, I want to tell people, I don't want people to look at me and wonder, am I a thought or not? I want people to look at me and see other things, like she's a businesswoman, she's independent, she's funny, she's loving. So I think that us even giving our sexuality so much importance, you know. Okay, we sexual, like fine, but honestly, at this point in my life too, like I am walking on my purpose, and I find out that okay, men get laid every day and they can have 20 women if they want a week, and I can do the same. Okay, but I don't want to. And it's not that I can't or that I think is wrong. I just simply don't want to. I am walking on my purpose, and honestly, not that I'm not a sexual being, because I'm, you know, living my life in that way. But when you are like doing your thing, just especially sex with just like random people, like I'm just gonna get laid today because men can, and that's just I'm not about that life.
Yeah,
you know, I wanna make love to my soulmate or the person that I love, but I just can't be loving 20 people in the span of a couple of months. So,
but she would, because she's been here before, and I've said I just don't understand it, and I try to go to it and get it, but I understand what you're saying. Some would argue, and she would argue, that her mission is to make it okay for women who do want to be over-sexualized and to be equal to a man that can do it. I've heard some people say a woman could never do that because a woman's value is judged based on, you know, age and how many people she's slept with or whatever. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's what somebody else said. What do you think? For her defense, that she's fighting for it to be okay for women who do want to do it.
Look, I just feel like if you can do whatever you want with your body, right? As long as you're not hurting other people. But I think that when you really say, I want to empower women, like if you do a poll and you ask women of our age, you know, even a little younger than me and a little older, our biggest concern is not sex or how many men can we fuck. Because we will fuck anybody that we want. The thing is that women these days are not into that shit. We are trying to get our shit together. We're trying to be like men in the sense of we want to own as many businesses. We want to own as many property. We want to build as much wealth as they do.
That's real equality.
So honestly, all my friends, none of my friends are worried about like, oh, you know, I wish I could fuck them men like this other men do. That is just never in the conversation. We're all just like killing it, like trying to make money, trying to, you know, build wealth, like be able to pass something to our kids.
It can be a part of a conversation for an empowered woman and for a woman that wants to represent that badass woman, which is what Amber Rose, I think the route she's going. But I think to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying, but also take a different light is this all you're going to do to represent this empowered woman? We're just going to walk from this part of downtown LA to this part. We're going to wear skanky
years
costumes.
Ago, I went to Tanzania, and
to where?
To Tanzania. Mm-hmm. I went to volunteer at an orphanage, and I was teaching dance classes for 10 days. And most of the kids were girls, and because you know usually over there, and it sounds kind of like remote, but. You know, when you have boys and girls, well, the boys will go to school and the girls will stay home, and you teach them how to cook and clean, and hopefully they married somebody and somebody give you a couple of chickens and cows for her, and you know they mutilate her vagina so she doesn't feel, and like things like that. A lot of them have been raped by their parents or grandparents or uncles and you know brothers, like things of that sort. And so when you see that that's the reality of a lot of women, and I will feel so terrible fighting for us to be able to have our pussy wax or not, you know, when there's girls that can't even enjoy sex with the men that they love, not like with 50 men, but like the one man that they love, they can't because they already have been mutilated. So like I say, I appreciate there's a lot of work to do with us women in society, and maybe sex is one, but it shouldn't be the only thing. And the truth is that, I mean, I have a lot of friends. I talk to a lot of women, and we don't really talk. Sex is just really being able to fuck different like this, we probably don't want to fuck that many of them. What we want is like we want resources on how to like. I mean, if she picks like 5 companies of black or minority owned 5 companies, and she gives them 1 free post on Instagram. Do you imagine what that can do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, so we have a new brand here at Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored that we want to put out there to all of our listeners, and we try to bring you brands that we know you'll love. So this new brand, Quip, one of the most important things we do every single day with our health, and you talked about earlier, is brushing our teeth. We brush our teeth, and sometimes we don't do it properly. So the thing I love about Quip is it's a better electric toothbrush created by dentists and designers to make sure that we're doing it properly. So it's designed to help us make brushing our teeth a lot more simple, affordable, and even enjoyable. So the thing I love about Quip, when they sent me mine, is that it has this sensitive sonic vibration. So you feel the brush moving in your mouth. You feel it moving on your teeth. And there's a built-in timer that pulses every 30 seconds to tell you that shows you when to switch it on the different side of your mouth. Nice. So it's I just love it. And this is what our followers can do to get their own Quip. I love Quip, and I love it because of the convenience and the fact that I now know when to switch sides when brushing my teeth. I also love Quip because over 20,000 dental professionals have validated this product. And anytime you're going to be introducing a new product to your health, to your family, to your life, you should make sure that it's validated and backed by people who are experts in the field. Quip starts at just $25. So if you go to getquip.com/unlocked right now, you get your first refill pack for free with a Quip electric toothbrush. So you get that deal. That's your first refill pack for free at getquip.com/unlocked.
So I just think that I would love for her to explore. Now, all that shit that I'm telling you, like that wouldn't get her as much. Nobody will be talking about it because who cares about like, oh, she's doing something great. People, this is like more controversial, and so
I don't know. It didn't seem as big as it was last year.
I don't know. I think having.
I appreciate her, but I just will do it.
Let me say this: before entertainment, I worked in a union. And in a union, say for instance, I left SEIU to go work for CNA, which is the California Nurse Association. I represent registered nurses. In a hospital, there's ratios that the government says, okay, this many nurses need to be with this many patients based on the acuity, based on like how sick the patient is. So if you go to the ER, it's 1 to 2. If you go in critical care, it's 1 to 1. If you're on the floor, it's 1 to 4. But what people don't really realize is like last night when I went to the hospital, I had worked in that hospital. I helped lead the build of the Kaiser Hospital on Sunset Boulevard. So like I know if I come in, shortness of breath, you have to immediately triage me. Triage me is 2 things. You visually triage to say, okay, is he in distress? Is he this or that? But then you have to take my vitals. They were understaffed. Lady wouldn't do it. I'm sitting there waiting on her to say, can we go to triage? She doesn't. So finally I said, ma'am, you were supposed to triage me the minute I walked in and gave you my information, told you I had shortness of breath, you were supposed to take my vitals. She immediately hopped up, started helping me because she knew I knew. The point of all that is that the way the union operates is we advocate for patient safety as much as employee rights. And I understand what she's trying to do. Where I've been critical is there's much more that needs to be done. Like you have to educate. Then once you educate, you have to empower. Once you empower, you have to create opportunities. And once you've empowered them and created the opportunities, they're then going to grow your base to support further action.
So when you speak about educating, so usually we are the victims of men, right? When it comes to like rape, most of the time, and domestic abuse, like all this stuff, usually is the men that abuse the women. And so we have to educate the men, right? But do you think that us like walking butt naked in the streets, it's an efficient way of educating? Because how many women? Many women in reality?
Let me stop on that point. The only way I would answer yes is if you have that big moment that you say creates a lot of conversation and focus on it, and then use that energy to direct it to something.
So how many women have been raped? They were walking on the streets with a G-string and nothing else, and just a guy just jumped them. Usually you get raped like coming out of work in your scrubs. Or
going to Bill Cosby's house after the party.
Right.
or like
that motherfucker. Somebody hit him with a chicken patty or something. I don't know. I read a story.
Or,
I
you
don't
know,
think it
so-
would be a bad thing if there was more to
So
it than just a
I
slut
would
walk.
love for like the slut walk to be women walking not naked but in our uniforms. You know, when you were to go to work. Usually, you coming out of work, coming home late. That's when somebody attack you. For example, you know what I mean?
Wait, if you hear the word slut walk, you ain't trying to see a bus driver.
And I
It's
don't.
not a wait. When you see a slut walk or you hear of the slut walk, you're not going to go there to see a dog walker or an ambulance driver or a waitress.
But those are the sluts. Those are the sluts. You leave your house. You go to work. You are a nurse, and you coming home from work late, and a guy gets you right there. He doesn't. It's not because you have a thong that he's. It's not because you're dressing sexy that he's like raping you.
Right.
You know. So that's the thing that I feel like men should understand, that like they calling. You look, I have friends that have regular jobs and they are whatever secretaries and they real estate, and you don't think that they're being called all kinds of things as well, and they never show their ass on Instagram. They never done a music video.
Yeah.
We all women, no matter what we do, that is the easiest thing to like say, oh, whore, how like. So that I feel like you have to educate men in that way, that when you call a woman all those things, but you know, she is a professional. She is much more than like a victim. So I just feel like the approach, if really we're trying to educate men, I will do it in a different way. Obviously, I'm not here, and props to her. I really love Amber, and I appreciate her doing that, but I would just do something else.
Well, Amber's also in the news for something else controversial. What's going on with Amber and her son?
Still just living her best life unbothered. She lets her 5-year-old son curse. She just says she doesn't want him to say the N-word, which he picked up from his father, Wiz Khalifa. But she said like she lets her 5-year-old son curse, which is, pretty controversial because who lets their 5-year-old child curse?
So let me ask you, would you let your 5-year-old son curse?
No.
There is an age where cursing is cute. Well, not that I've said it, but people have he's called her a bitch at 2.
Oh, no.
Then you get 5 and it's like, you called her a bitch, you get your ass whipped. So do you think it's ever okay to have a little kid cuss?
No.
What do you think?
I think I will be open. It depends what the words he's using.
What if he says fuck? Fuck, mommy. Everybody's coughing and wheezing on this show today. But listen, folks, we did not want to be here today, but we're here for you. And trust me, between pneumonia and the flu, you're getting a good show.
Well, I mean,
let me tell you,
I'm kind of like open with this one, because even if
Jeroslyn just gave you a crazy
it depends of like the context, like, the thing is that we also say it in front of them. So if I cannot lead, I don't know if I can lead by example. True. I don't think I can never not say fuck here and there. So they're gonna hear me, and when they ask you why can you say it and I can't, like, so I have to figure it out if I can lead by example.
We were all raised by adults who was cussing, and we still knew that that's how they talk and that's not how we talk. My mom did start to, like, I was a little more, my mom was more lenient with me than like my friends. I started cursing around my mom as a teenager.
Like what age?
Like probably like 16.
16?
Yeah, like, and I still curse like openly, and like if I'm talking about something with my mom, I'll be like,
grown
what the fuck?
now,
But but I've been doing this since I was a teenager. Mm-hmm. But I still can't curse at my mom, and I could never curse as a child.
Yeah, I don't
5
think.
5 years old. No.
I mean, first of all, like, my mom would have or my grandparents would have just. I wouldn't be here speaking if I.
Isn't that more culturally though?
Yes, but as I don't think that I'm gonna raise my kids with all the old-fashioned things that some of them I think are a little outdated. And
but Amber Rose,
I love the idea.
Amber Rose is a black woman, so I mean she's. What? Excuse me. Amber Rose is a black woman, isn't she?
Kinda.
What is kinda?
I don't know. People don't see her as black. That was the thing with the Bill Cosby thing.
She sees herself as black.
Okay.
But anyway, I just said that to be controversial because y'all go be in the comments. She ain't no black woman. That's what's wrong with your colorism. You think that's a black woman? Whatever, people. I'm just being funny. All right. So listen, I think that people should raise their kids the way they want to raise their kids. Unless you paying the rent, you shouldn't be telling people how to raise their kids. The second thing is that look at Will and Jaden, how they raised Jaden and Willow. They raised them without a lot of boundaries. Some would say they're weirdos.
Yeah.
Other people would say they've evolved into. Justin. Why am I thinking of Justin Combs? Jaden has now developed a water company and spreading that water all over the world. I look at them from afar. I mean, I'm not on the inside of it, but I look at them from afar and I'm like, man, they really are turning out to be successful, productive kids. They've had their own issues, but I mean, if anything, they've been allowed to evolve. I think, with a lot of kids, you tell them, oh, don't have sex. The things you tell them not to do, they're going to go sneak off and do it anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know, but shout out to... Wait. One thing I will say to Amber Rose, what I do love, is she does appear to let her son evolve into who he... Let him do what he wants. She allows him to express himself freely.
The Taylor Swift and whatever music he wants to listen to.
Yeah.
I respect that. You got to let.
And I love that her and Wiz are great examples of co-parenting and how they both love him. I saw Wiz last night. He is fine as shit now. I don't know. He's in the gym. Fuck.
I would expect Amber Rose or Wiz Khalifa not to be the traditional parents for their sons. So I even though I wouldn't let my 5-year-old curse, I'm not surprised that Amber Rose lets her 5-year-old curse.
So speaking of Amber Rose, her best friend Black China and Rob might be getting back together again.
I know. She said that she wouldn't mind getting back with him. So she just did a recent interview and she said, yes, maybe we'll get back together. We'll see. Okay. And she said she wouldn't change anything about Rob and China at all.
Rob, if you fucking get back with her, I'm pulling up and beating your ass. Ain't that your ex-boyfriend?
No. Every time I come, he says the same thing. And I'm
no,
telling everybody the same story. But I feel like the way it was too bad.
Toxic. It was toxic.
It was too bad for them to. It will be crazy to see them together again. I think that if they get to be friends and co-parent and do the Amber and Wiz and co-parent and be nice to each other, I think that would be amazing.
They'd be raising Dream in a complete nightmare.
But we all were rooting.
Get that? You missed that joke. You missed the joke.
Oh, I got it. Okay, but
Dream the baby.
I got it.
A nightmare.
I got it.
Okay.
We were all rooting for them.
Corny joke time, huh?
That's the Black China we wanted.
No,
I don't think so.
We wanted that.
No,
I don't.
We
think
was
so.
all here for Angela Kardashian.
Who was we? That's the problem.
No.
Niggas wanted her to infiltrate the bag, and the problem is she got in and did what niggas do. And I don't hate Black China. I don't love her. I don't know her. I mean, when we talk in public, we're cool, and I want her to come on the show, but I'm gonna keep it real. Nobody wanted to see them to get together. That was all out of vengeance, at least from the outside. Remember, Tyga and her were together. Tyga left her to cheat and cheated on her with her friend Kim Kardashian's little sister, who was a minor at the time. Then got with her. Then she said, "Oh, okay, nigga." And Rob didn't really, he was mad at his sisters. And then they got together out of vengeance. And look what happened. The toxicity level was on a whole nother level. And nobody wants to see that anymore. I don't.
I just wouldn't mind seeing Black China settle down with a good man that's going to treat her right. And
who knows if that's really what she wants.
Help her change her life.
Wait a minute, but it's not all about her life. It's about the life of her child. Somebody said to me recently, when you have a kid, it ain't about you no more. It's about your child. What's in the best interest? You cheated on Rob allegedly with, then you left him for another guy, then left him for an 18-year-old. Then you left him. Yeah. No, China needs to take care of China. Get China together. She's a smart businesswoman. Get your money up. Take care of your sons. Wait, son and daughter.
Son and daughter.
Take care of your son and daughter.
Chillins.
And just be by yourself for a minute. And then find you a man that works out for you. But it ain't Rob Kardashian. Rob is a friend. It ain't Rob.
I agree. I mean, that's for both of them, for her and Amber. We definitely want to see both of them kind of stay single for a little bit and focus on them and love themselves before jumping into a new romance.
Let's talk about some real shit. Brett Kavanaugh's on the Supreme Court.
No.
Listen.
For those of you that have been living under a rock and think that politics aren't important.
Yeah.
A man got accused of sexually assaulting a woman or more than one woman, and now is on the highest court in the land. And there's niggas going to jail every day for rape or sexual assault. I'm so confused.
It's a lot of layers to this topic because, for one, of course, we're as people of color, we're going to look at it as How does this man get away with having been such a douchebag in his years ago, and he still was able to just rise up the ranks, become top on the Supreme Court?
When we have friends that have criminal record and they can even get a good job.
My brother's in jail for stealing a bike. Like, come on, like that's what happens to black men in America. But at the end of the day, there was a part of me that was just like, wait, why are we talking about who he was in 1982? So, and not to defend him.
Because if you rape in 1982, you should still be in prison.
No, yeah, you should still be in prison. But at the end of the day, when they were doing the testimonies, it sounded like college to me.
So no, it was high school though. But you mean the conversation?
The story, the story.
Let me go a step further and say that, okay, say he didn't sexually assault her. He should not be on the Supreme Court based on his behavior during the questioning. He was so disrespectful to the senators. He was completely out of control. You know what I loved is that white America was like, oh my God, look at how they're treating him. Niggas is on trial every day.
Every day, and they get
they ain't did
worse
nothing
than
to
that.
him. They ain't did nothing to him that don't happen every day. Now, I'm not saying that people aren't guilty of crime. And if you do commit a crime, you should go to jail if you're found guilty. But you should have due process. That lady deserved due process. He deserved due process. And I think in this way they failed her. And this is for a position that can help decide whether women can have control over having abortions or not.
Yeah.
I mean, as he's on the court that decides if our Constitution is interpreted the right way or wrong way on matters that can affect marriage equality, women's rights. Yeah. I mean,
and he'll be there till he dies.
So everybody who's not happy about this, don't just be unhappy and go online, because nobody gives a fuck about that. You got to register to vote, and you got to get niggas out of office.
Well, now it's too late. If you didn't register by Tuesday, too late. Okay, and don't talk shit.
You can always do provisional ballots.
Yeah, you can do provisional. Do whatever you need to do, because at this point, the issue is the fact that we're not taking this election that's coming up next month. We have not been taking it serious, and that's why the people that voted Brett Kavanaugh in are in office, because you're not going out to vote in the midterm elections. So get out and vote next month. Because honestly, the whole thing that bothered me the most is because it's a whole battle between the Republicans and the Democrats, and it was like, if this was the Democrats' way of trying to get at the Republicans by bringing up Brett Kavanaugh's douchey behavior in high school and college, it's like, come harder, motherfuckers. You got a rapist, a sexual assaulter as the president. There's just so many layers to this.
Well, we don't know that. We can't say that. We can't say that Donald Trump's a rapist. I think we can say that. I think we can say that. No, I think he what he said is that he can grab women by the vagina because he's famous and because he can do whatever he wants. Right. So yeah, some people can say sexual assault. I just don't want to. I don't want to make the narrative so choppy that people get lost in the facts. The fact is, what we're looking at is race in America. We're looking at banning Muslims. We're looking at building walls for Mexicans. We're looking at women don't matter as much as men do. We're looking at niggas will continue to not get their rights if they take a knee on the court, on the field, and stand up for what they believe is their constitutional right. We're seeing race in America. Donald Trump has brought up the worst of racism in our country. Mm-hmm. I look at it from a positive perspective. Now we all see it. We see it now.
Oh, it's clear as day.
We see it now.
If you want to try to deny it.
And so if I believe do I believe that the Me Too movement is out of control? Absolutely, I do. I think the Me Too movement is the new HIV. People are getting it. And I'd say the new AIDS. We don't even know what the fucking cure is at this point. Anybody can get it. Les Moonves gone. Everybody gone. But at the same time, I feel like right now we have 2 more years to get through the worst that I think we've ever seen since I've been alive. Even the Reagan era. Like, this is crazy. Ugh. But to your point that people don't know is the election you're talking about next month is the midterm elections. These are the elections for seats in the Senate and Congress that help shape the other balance of power in our country. And
no shade, shout out to Taylor Swift, because I was totally feeling her with, really getting people within Tennessee to go out and register to vote. And someone has said in our comments when we posted that story, like, who knew by the end of 2018 I was going to like Taylor Swift more than I like Kanye?
Listen. I'm trying to reserve my opinions for Kanye until I can get an interview. Because at this point, he's interviewing everybody. Everybody's interviewing Kanye.
Wait, but did you see that clip of him at TMZ when he told Harvey Levin, he was like, excuse me, can you move out of the way? Because this woman right here, she's giving me energy that I need. And I need to take that. And it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm going to see Kris Jenner tomorrow night. And I'm going to give her a hug and say, hi, Mom. And then say, I need Kanye on my show. Because at this point, I really don't know what to say other than try to understand by asking questions for him to continue to reveal himself. I think what's happening right now is people are throwing too much of their opinions at him. And it's just, you know, when you throw opinions at Kanye, who's like supercharged and super energetic and thoughts are just racing through his head, he's throwing out the craziest responses that are just leading to more opinions. I don't want to do opinions. I want to just keep asking questions to peel back layers, because I feel like there has to be something we're missing, or he needs to be able to come to the conclusion that he's fucking nuts.
It's more than bipolar. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, some people could say it was since his mom died, he has been the same.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, shout out to Kanye. Come on the show. But Brett Kavanaugh, you're a piece of shit, motherfucker.
Ugh. So
all right.
Disgusting. So
Terrence J. Are you friends with Terrence J?
No.
Okay. Are you friends with Jasmine?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm friends with both. You're friends with Jasmine. First of all, let us send our well wishes to both who were in an unfortunate car accident the other day. Now, here's what I'm going to say. I've been in a crash before, and it was not a hit and run, but it was almost a hit and run. I was just too drunk to run. And the police popped up and took me to jail. I wrecked my car and all of that. I'm not saying that this is what happened to them, but the way it's looking is that they were both involved in a car crash. Jasmine was driving this $200,000 car, and they left the scene. What do you think?
But she's saying that it wasn't her, that it was a mystery woman.
But I think there's witnesses, though, that say they saw her, right?
What if it was a look-alike Jasmine?
Don't nobody look like the Golden Barbie.
Yeah,
That's Golden
she
Barbie.
got a distinctive look, but you stick to that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. She said it wasn't her, so.
Well, I haven't texted either one of them yet. Did you text her? Did you talk to her?
No.
Did you text her to say, I hope you're okay?
No.
I didn't either. We should do that at break, because that's kind of rude that we haven't checked on them. One thing I will say, people, I get a lot of criticism for living in my truth. I tell y'all I got a drinking problem. I tell y'all all the crazy shit I do. I hope that alcohol wasn't involved, because Terrence has a really big deal over at Viacom, and he has an endorsement deal with Crown Royal. And then Jasmine is a supermodel.
She's a supermodel.
Okay, but she says it wasn't her, so I'm gonna believe that it wasn't her. Maybe
it wasn't them.
Maybe he was driving with another girl, like.
So he was cheating on Jasmine Sanders.
I didn't say he was cheating. Maybe it was like his assistant or something like that.
If Jasmine wasn't driving, she would have took to Instagram and said, "Let me clear this up. I was not involved in any car accident."
She did.
Did she?
Yeah.
Did you see that? Hold on a second. Well, yeah, you're right. She did. Our Instagram has been down, so I haven't been following everything probably the way I should. It says, I don't know where to begin. Despite what you guys may have heard, I was not involved in a car accident yesterday. I genuinely enjoy sharing my life with you all via social media. However, it is very difficult to see such false portrayal about myself in the media. I really appreciate everyone who has reached out for your concern and support. I'm going to take a few days off of social media while I continue to work and stay focused. I love you guys.
So she says it wasn't her.
Well, I hope not. But either way, shout out to their $200,000 McLaren that's been wrecked up. And I don't know.
Now, I'll be really upset if, I'm not saying that he had a side bitch, but if I had a side bitch and she fucked up my car, like, that's it.
If he was with a side chick,
like, no pussy is worth my car.
This is like the worst. If he was with a side chick and crashed his car and left the scene of the crime, whoa. A lot of drama.
Well, we'll be checking to see if they follow each other by the end of the week. So what's going on in the world of DUIs?
Yes. So actor Pooch Hall, who many of us remember from The Game, he was arrested for a DUI. And upon the cops getting to his car, they saw that he had his 2-year-old sitting in his lap. So now he's also facing child endangerment charges as well as the DUI.
And for folks that don't know, he got pulled over in Burbank. Can I tell you a secret? I got a DUI in Burbank. Years ago, and ended up in jail. Burbank police is...
How many DUIs have you had?
Only one. Okay. It was the first and last. But let me tell you the lesson I learned. One, don't drink and drive. And no, that's basic. But in Hollywood, you go to a lot of parties, especially in our industry. You drink a lot, or you have a drink or 2 drinks. You could drink 2 drinks and come off drunk on a test. So I had a designated driver. He was supposed to drive me home. Him and his boyfriend got into a fight. He left me. So I was there with my car. I had this brand new, beautiful car that I had paid $60,000 cash for. Let my insurance lapse. Didn't even know my insurance lapsed. That was the hard part. Drove home literally from West Hollywood, was 2 blocks from my house and crashed. But went to jail. So him getting arrested in Burbank, black in Burbank, and DUI and kid and all
With the
that,
child, it's just
they're
a
not
lot.
playing.
This is a lot. The question is, what's the dumbest thing you've done while you were drunk?
Drove. That was it. The dumbest thing I did was got in that car, and I wasn't even kind of drunk. I was like shit-faced drunk.
Oh, God.
But I had the whole navigation thing, and I typed in my address, so it's telling me where to turn, and I'm thinking I can make it home.
Yeah.
So but I've also fallen asleep at the wheel and crashed.
See, this like makes
On
me
the
nervous
freeway.
because I'm still like trying to study to get my license.
Well, I mean,
You don't drive?
I'm from New York, honey. Now.
But let me say this: if you're tired driving, you got to pull over.
Yeah.
I was driving home from working two shifts,
Mm-hmm.
a PM shift through a night shift to the morning. So I'm driving home from 40 miles away, and I'm thinking I'm gonna make it. And I started getting tired. I said maybe I should get some coffee. I said no. Fell asleep. Woke up, hit a car.
Oh my God.
But the crazy part about going back to your question about the craziest thing when I'm drinking is one, I don't drive anymore, and two, I always wear a seatbelt.
Yeah. I mean, I recently just did something stupid drunk while I was in New York. The girls' bathrooms was taken, so I went to the men's bathroom and they only had urinals. And I was like, I could do this. Dumbest shit ever.
You try to pee in the
You know-
urinal.
Yes. Pee
That
everywhere.
That should have been on Hollywood
Oh
Unlocked.
my God.
You know,
it was
when
the dumbest
you're
thing.
tired and you're driving, they say that what your brain does is that it continues to see the picture of the road. So you're asleep, but like you start dreaming and you continue to see the road, but you're actually asleep. So it's really dangerous. If you're
Yeah.
tired, just pull over.
No, it's extremely dangerous. And also, if you have a luxury car and you get the seat warmers or the
Oh, God.
massaging and all
Yes.
that, and you're tired, it'll massage your ass right to sleep. So yeah, definitely. But back to Pooch Hall. What do you think about him? And I mean, the drinking part is one thing, but his kid in his lap. What do you think?
Is he married?
I don't know. He would be.
It's
Because I'm
weird,
wondering,
yeah.
like, if the mom knew that he was drunk and
And now they're going
left
to,
the
digging
kid.
into they're digging into videos. So there is videos of
We're
him.
digging into his video.
Yeah, and there were previous videos of him letting his kids drive. So he
Yeah.
just has a unique relationship with his kids.
No, well, not to mention, we just had a bus driver arrested for letting kids drive their bus.
Drunk.
People,
Oh, yeah.
right. Was she drunk?
Yes.
Okay, black people, we got to do better. We can't be out here letting the children drive cars in the buses. Yeah.
Yeah.
But some are saying like this may be it for him because but I don't know. I think there's people doing a lot worse, and he'll get redemption at some point.
I don't
But
know.
being black in Burbank ain't easy.
No, and what's he been up to? So this isn't a good look to help him get back into the game.
I don't know, but good part. That was-
confused.
I got that joke. It's all about timing. All right, our sister Kylie Jenner.
Kylie, she's back with the lip fillers. So back in July, Kylie announced that she
Why you say that like she won an Oscar? She's back with the lip fillers.
Cause keep it coming, honey. Do what you got to do to feel your best self. But back in July, she said she was no longer using lip fillers after she was taking a break or whatever after giving birth to her daughter. And then just the other day, she posted a picture in her Instagram story shouting out the person who came and filled her back up, and she's back with her Kylie Cosmetics all over her plump lips.
I love the fact that she took, people used to bully her for her lips.
Yeah.
I like the fact that she took what people used to hold against her, took control of it, and turned it into a $1 billion empire. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
So the
I don't
question
know.
is, which body part of yours would you like to be touched up?
everything.
Oh, no. Let me answer the question. Everything.
Everything.
Your body is amazing.
Yeah, your body's amazing.
So stop it.
It is. I would
have-
shorten my toes. If I could shorten my toes, I would shorten my toes.
I have body dysmorphia.
What is that?
I don't see the same thing that people see. When I look in the mirror, I see all kinds of weird things.
Really?
Yeah, I've been like this since I'm a little girl because I was a dancer. So I always thought I was really fat, which I kind of was for that. But
I have body I have body dysmorphia in reverse. I look in the mirror and be like, "Fuck, I ain't going to the gym."
I look amazing.
You're like, I'm too fine. Yeah, no, I have that little problem. So I'm always like looking at things and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do
Is that
that.
a woman
and then
thing?
I'm like,
is
oh
that
no.
a woman thing though?
No, it's
No.
for each individual because there's no reason for her to. If I look like her, bitch, you can't tell me nothing.
I hate the one thing about LA. I will say to people who aren't in LA is you'll be somewhere at a poolside with somebody with the most snatched body and they'll be like, "I'm so fat."
Yeah, I do hear that a lot out here. People are way more
And what I like
self-conscious.
about New York women is they'll be thick with some Timbs on. Like
Yeah.
you'd be like, now you know you shouldn't have your stomach out, but the
we
confidence
do.
levels on like
Yeah.
20.
I love
Yeah.
I love confident women. I actually do.
Yeah.
I love.
But there's no reason. It like even when I'm posting and I pass and you post something and I'm just like, who is that? Like she looks gorgeous, and then I'm like, oh, it's Rosa. She always looks gorgeous.
But at least I understand that I have that problem.
That's good.
So
That's good.
I try to keep it under control. Because I look at the mirror and I'm like, ew, and then I'm like, okay, like.
Well, listen, shout out to Kylie Jenner.
Shout out to Kylie and those
shout out
lips.
to her friend Jordan Woods, who's lost a lot of weight and who looks really snatched.
I like that they are making money together.
Yeah.
You gotta put up
Kylie. She comes off to me as the most like I don't care. I'm on social media. I'm popular, but I'm gonna live my life as normal and how I want to live it. And she's not worried about all what people say and do. And I like it. I support Kylie.
All right. So today's a very special day for all the homosexuals in the world. We're celebrating you today because today is
National Coming Out Day.
So before we go any further, I'd like to come out. I'm gay.
Come out, Jason. Come out, Rosa.
But let me tell you why today is important because I never knew. I mean, I knew that I wasn't out, but I never had an out experience like, sit down with my whole family or feel the pressure to come out. I just did TV and knew it was going to be on there. So I was like, fuck it, it's out there now. But, I will say that there is a sense of freedom that I feel in this city that I acknowledge doesn't exist in other cities. There's flyover states like South Dakota, Missouri, shit that you would go to trying to be in this my hometown. And then you get there and they're like, gay is not in like
and
that.
Cultural. I have a lot of West Indian friends and they can never come out to their family. And I'm just like, come on, tell them that you're gay. And they're like, no.
I met a guy once from Dubai who flies here just to have gay sex because he can't have sex in his country.
That's crazy.
So he comes.
So expensive.
But he comes here once or twice a year.
Also,
for
he's
sex.
holding out.
Is that crazy?
Okay, that's
probably watching a lot of Pornhub over there.
I don't know.
Just holding out.
But he can't have sex in his country because he can't be gay.
That sucks.
And then people are like, yo, let's go to Jamaica. They're like, they don't play that gay shit down there. I'm like, okay, but I'm still going to go to Jamaica. Their flag is red, yellow, and green. You got to add one more color and you get purple.
Oh, yeah,
good.
you don't. That's what I'm saying. Like my West Indian friends, they can't come out and I feel sorry for them because they're not able to fully live their truth. But the actress from Orange is the New Black, she was outed by one of her co-stars, and she talked about how hurtful it was for her because she feels like.
How was she outed? What happened?
They knew she was gay, but I guess they didn't know she hadn't come out. Oh. And in an interview, they were like, "Yeah, well, she's gay and she's lesbian."
Oh, that's what happened.
And she read it, and so you're reading someone telling something that you haven't even told, so she felt like it was taken from her, and she still carries that with her.
She'll see it later on as it freed her. It's going to take her some time to get through the betrayal feeling because it's just like, why'd you do that? But once everybody embraces her and accepts her, she's going to feel like, well, damn it, it freed me.
Sometimes people think that nobody knows, and it's like, okay, she kind of outed you, but we already knew.
Yeah.
I mean, you keep bringing the same roommate to Thanksgiving. Yeah. People are going to know.
But it's
it's still wrong. Like, let people have their moment, but we probably already knew.
That's how I feel. That's how I was looking at it. But I can understand, like, if, with my best friend, she was always like kind of she was bisexual. She was kind of with girls and guys and whatever. So I didn't understand that she was really gay. So when she made the decision that she was gay, she like really she came to me and sat me down. And I'm like, I don't care. But I saw how important it was for her. So I think it's something that if you're heterosexual or whatever, like just understand that it's not let them have that.
Yeah. All right. So Trump is in the news every single day. This time he's telling Chicago, take control of your city and start stopping and frisking people.
Mm-hmm. He wants them to use stop and frisk despite the fact that their murder rate is going down year after year. He also brought up his good friend Rudy Giuliani, who used to be the mayor of New York, and he implemented the stop and frisk program, and they're saying, it decreased the crime rates. And so now they want that to be implemented in Chicago. But, it's been outlawed because it's been proven to be discriminatory to people of color. So if, I don't know, maybe that's something he could talk about with his good pal Kanye and they can come up with a solution.
So for people that don't know what stop and frisk means, if they believe that you could be a criminal,
yes.
if they're suspicious that you could be up to no good, they can stop you and pat you down.
Yep.
Well, the Constitution prevents people from just going in your pockets.
Unlawful search and seizure.
And so people of color have to be aware of this because that means you could be walking down the street in your city with a blunt and they can just pull you over because you look suspicious and find that blunt and now you in jail.
Yes. And it's
in some states, a joint can get you a year in prison.
Yes. And I noticed living in New York, I noticed firsthand how discriminatory it was because, I went to high school in Harlem, but I lived in Queens and I lived in a white neighborhood in Queens. And these kids in that white neighborhood was getting high. They were doing ecstasy, cocaine. They were doing all the drugs. Black people, we're too scared of that stuff. We really just smoke weed. So you got all these black kids who get arrested every single day out of school, right after high school. Right out of school, cops will pat them down, stop and frisk. They might have a little marijuana on them, arrested. But then I go home and I'm around white people who got cocaine and Molly and ecstasy, and they're chilling in front of their house.
Well, I think the perception, what you're alluding to is just the racism that exists within our
policing,
our legal system. Just in our jail system, our arrest system, every system related to incarceration, there's a belief that there's a big problem when it comes to race and bias, and I believe that could be true. But I would say that, like, if you live in a city where they're proposing this, as much as you want to keep your city safe, you can't let the desperation of doing that lead you to creating laws that affect innocent people. Someone said, well, they shouldn't be walking down the street with marijuana. When was the last time marijuana killed somebody? I remember the time I ate a bag of popcorn that was laced with THC, and I thought I was dying, but I didn't die.
You didn't die.
So I definitely hope that, the mayor of Chicago doesn't go for this. And hopefully that, Trump and Kanye are going to be meeting soon. So if Kanye comes out saying that they need to implement this, I won't even know what to tell you. So anyway, I think that's about it. We've come to a conclusion of our show.
Register to vote. Go vote.
Any last words, Rosa?
I love you, and I want you to be my baby daddy.
Yeah, I can't afford. Let me get my Instagram page back first. I can't afford. My legal bills are insane. I can't even afford a kid. My kid has been shipped off. It's called Hollywood Unlocked. All right, but thank you to our fans. Keep supporting, keep watching, keep sharing, and stay tuned because my welcome back video to Instagram is going to be hilarious, and you're going to report it, and you're going to be upset, but it's so funny. All right, we're out of here. Peace.